Welcome everybody to our AIM Learn Fast webinar series. This is our fourth or our sixth one of this season, and um, one that where we're going to introduce something, a whole new function in the Ray Studio software. This one is introducing of data reports. This is something that we've worked on for quite some time. I started as part of some of my AIM duties, very early on. I was working with different organizations. Everybody wants or needs to have an understanding of how fast cars are, and while you can see certain things just even with the naked eye, acceleration rates from the side of the track, but and braking and turning, and of course they all have lap times and all of these different things, but there's always that accordion effect of when a car leaves a corner and one looks like it's faster even though their exit speed was faster, and so everybody, you may think that it's a horsepower advantage, or one may you may not, it may be hard to see if a car is way better under the braking, or longitudinal or lateral G's in the corners. Those things are always a little harder to see from either the car next to the car in front of you, or certainly from standing alongside the track. And decisions need to be made, and about maybe balance of performance of some sort, or how to class a car, or just a spec series, and needing to understand is some cars outside of the acceptable envelope of who's faster and who's slower. So early on, we started to look at just the squiggly lines and look at acceleration traces and bring data from all of the different cars on top of each other. And it was a lot of work. You had to align the exit speed. So if somebody was 3 miles an hour faster out of the corner, I could do some tricks inside of Ray Studio and align everybody to be at exactly 40 miles per hour, even if they weren't at the exact same spot of the track, to eliminate exit speeds, and then look at their acceleration rates for the next 30 miles per hour or whatever it happened to be. And that was valid, and it was, we were able to help organizations see this and understand what was going on with the cars. So now we fast forward, and we want more people to be able to do this. And so we start thinking about, well, what's a tool that can do this in a more automated way. And we were chatting with different organizations, and some have been very involved in this, and we've come up with a tool. And then we take that tool and we go, well, it's kind of great for an organization to be able to have a tool to do something like that, but how does that really help the everyday user of AIM Ray Studio software? How can we take away some of those, or make those available for a team of drivers, or even a single car team that may run 3 or 4 tests on a day, and they really want to compare that data in a quick and easy way, visual, and be able to see this data and quickly point out user-defined functionality, right? What was my max speed on this straightaway? What is my min speed in this corner? What was my average G's in the corner? Broken up by the segments. And so data reports have been born. And Emiliano has spent a ton of time working on this with his team, and I've spent a ton of time testing, and other folks have as well. And we're going to introduce that to you today. So on your screen there, on the what you're seeing, oops, I need to share that so everybody can see that just a little bit better. So this is what the front page will look like. You're going to see the some box plots and all of your segments across the top, and you can pick different sessions and different segment maps and some other things. And I'm going to talk to begin with a little bit about how important that it is, actually very important, of how we select those segments and where they land, and the importance of that to what you're going to get in the data. So that's just a little bit of an introduction into data reports and what's going to be happening there. It'll be available to you in your Ray Studio 3 software. But first, let's bring in the fellow that put this all together, a many-time co-host here with us from the head of the software team, Emiliano. Thank you for joining us again today.
I'm very glad to be here again and to help all our customers with the new functionalities in RS3 3.
He has been working hard in the background and just time and time again, and I think this is one of those functions that I think everybody's gonna find value in and quite quickly. So let's jump in fairly deeply, pretty quickly, and understand. Well, let's give you an idea of where we're going to go, and just this picture will kind of start off the process. What we're going to talk about today is really 4 different things. We're going to talk about the function overall, but broken up into track map segments. We have been building track map segments with RStudio 3 track maps forever, RStudio 2 as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how those need to now be focused a little bit more. And for this actual function, there's some specialties that need to be done, and we need to all understand that. There are some workarounds around it if you don't do it, but it's mandatory for having a good report, as it says in the bullet item here. So I'm going to talk about those segments a little bit, and then open up some RStudio 3 and show you real quickly. We've got some links of where we have done that in the past that we'll link those into the chat box here for folks that are watching this live, or if you're watching it later on YouTube, they'll all be in the video description below. The next thing we'll do is how to build a report, including details on all the settings. Emiliano is going to take that with live data, and he's going to create a report and show you how easy it is to build these reports. Then we're going to take Emiliano's live data, and we're going to take and modify a few of them and show a few different report examples. Just to give you an idea, maybe we'll take some tips from some questions or tips of a few things some of you may want to see from the folks that are here live. And then part of this is, of course, a visual report right on your computer. That's very powerful and strong the way it is, but you may want to export the data out. And Emiliano and the team have built a good number of ways to export this data out of this report, either a PDF or a Windows document, or any number of them. Emiliano will go over that as well at the end. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the track map segments to start with. I brought this up here real quickly, and just to give you a quick idea before we go into live data, and then I've colorized the background of this screen capture, down here in the body of the measures graph, this red segment is I'm just showing it red down here. Whites are the straightaways, blues are the corners, greens and blues are the corners. In RStudio 2, when we first started working with maps, you had that option of the 3 different colors. You could colorize your segments, red and blue. We used to say red is right, blue is left, and green are straights. And it was just a convention, and it didn't have any strong use inside the program other than visually. And then RStudio 3 was kind of the same way, but now this is we need to focus on what we're doing with these colors and the assigning of colors to these track segments, because they are now going to be used in this report in specific ways. So greens are always going to be the straightaways, and then doesn't matter on the red or the blue, but you have to have red and blue in there, and this report is going to understand those to be corner segments, and we're going to talk more about that in a moment. The other thing that needs to be done, and we'll focus on this in the live data just real quickly though, but you have to have it. We have to build special track map segments, not track maps. You've got in this case, the data we're going to look at today is from Sonoma, California. And it's a track where it uses the what they would call the cup or the NASCAR configuration. And then I use this map just to give some corner numbers, just to show everybody what it kind of looks like. And then we need to break this up into a corners and a straights, 2 different maps, track map segment files. Because this little routine, this data report, depending on what you click on, what you want to see, it's looking at the maps that have the word corner in it and the map that has the word straights, and it's automatically creating these values for you. So we have to build these maps, these tracks segments into specific ways. The one that we're showing right here is the corners map. And you can see that if you think about the blues and the reds, and we're defining, we're actually limiting, putting a bracket around each of the corners. As I happen to do every corner in this particular case, or nearly, but you could do series of corners. But for what we're going to do here today, I did want to kind of break it down per corner. So if you know Sonoma, this turn 11 down here is kind of the big braking zone. It's from the highest, one of the highest speed spots on the track down to the lowest speed corner. And so you can see here the red segment top here. You can see where I have bracketed that out. So you go back a little bit before the V max, the velocity max leading into the corner, a little bit to the left of it, and the other side of your corner needs to be past the apex. So go a little bit past. So what that is basically allowing the report to do is help calculate all your braking and stuff for you. You haven't seen it yet, but we're going to look at it in just a moment. You're going to see that there'll be how long were you on the brakes, time, distance, average, longitudinal, negative, G's, all these different things, but you have to create the segments correct for it to do that. Okay. So that just a little bit about how these segments now mean something. Just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So let's jump into a live chunk of data, and let me go into one of these data files. This happens to be, again, that Sonoma Cup. I'm just going to open one of these data files in Race Studio 3 and talk about the maps and the segment files. Okay, just to show that again where everybody will be able to see it. Here is a lap of what we're looking at here. Remember, you can change or create these segment files from the icon that's up here. There's some videos that we will link in that gives an even deeper discussion about how to actually do all this. But if you click on this little icon up here in the upper right corner, it opens up a function, and you can see for the Sonoma Cup track, the default is RS3 splits. And then what I like to do, and I think it's a good policy, and I know many videos we've done talk about how to do this, but you take your initial one and you can clone it and create a clone, and then and then name it. Normally it'd be corners. I've already got corners, so I'm going to call it corners 2. You would clone the original one, come in here and build this new one called corners 2, and then we need to adjust it, right? So this is what we've already built. So I'm going to attach corners 2 to this, and I'm going to go in and show you how I adjusted it. I want to adjust it and use that for all the rest of them for the day. Here we are where remember turn 11 we were just looking at a little bit ago. We can tell that this is a corner. If we could bring the map up as well if we wanted to, but turn 10, you can see if you want to adjust these, maybe we want to adjust turn 11 a little bit different. You right click on the header, unlock the splits management, and you can come in and adjust these. So you have whatever the track splits that you want. But it's real important that the reds and the blues be corners and set in the corners map. And then there'll be a straights map where you bracket the straightaways. And if you're bracketing the straightaway, instead of the front being, let me attach the straightaway map just to show you what that would look like. And let's attach the straight because it's already been built. What you'll notice is the straightaway now, it is bracketed. The green segments are now bracketing the acceleration zones. And so now this front straightaway, it's before the minimum speed in the corner. And at the end of the straightaway, it's after the peak. What that's doing for us is in the report that we're going to show you in just 1 minute or so, it will take the straightaway information, and if you wanted average longitudinal acceleration, you wanted the max speed, you wanted average lambda under acceleration, all of these things are all buildable into the report. And then you end up with on the straightaways, it's broken down by straightaways and corners, and you can actually see that. But creating these two maps are a critical part of that. Okay, so let's jump real quickly out and we'll go to Emiliano's in just a moment, but I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to open one up real quickly with the 4 tests, test 1, 2, 3, 4 of a single. What we're trying to kind of try to show you today is you could have a team where you have everybody, 4 or 5 cars from your team went out, and you could open up all those together and compare that data. Or the other side of that, where this report is useful, is say you're a one person team and you went out and you did 4 different tests and you changed things, sway bars and shocks and ECU tunes and different things as you were going, so you could actually bring up 4 of your tests and review the data. So here's the new icon that'll be available. You highlight the sessions that you want from right here from the database view. You're not even opening up the data in Race Studio 3 proper in the analysis side. You highlight the tests that you want to open up in the report, and you click on the report button. You're going to have some options. There's going to be default 1 and default 2 will be available for you, kind of pre-built ones. There's other ones that I have been working on, or Emiliano is going to use one of these for his part here in just a moment. So I'm gonna open up Emiliano's right here, the one that he has set up. Here's what the report looks like inside. It automatically captures, it captured corners too. Up here in the upper left, it shows you which track map it has attached for the corners, the corner information. There's all these, whatever you have named them. I've named them based on the actual track corner numbers, and then the straights. Let me change that. I'm going to change that back to the corners. This is a way that you can create, select different maps if it didn't pick the one that you wanted, and it's going to recompute it. And now you can see that this is what I named them. Turn 1 and 2 is it's a big long corner with 2 corners together. So I've gotten into a naming convention of T for turns and S for straights, just to make it easier for me. So turn 1 and 2, turn 3 and 8, 3 and 3A, turn 4. Here's turn 11 down in here. You can select by the tabs, or you can select actually on the track map itself and get your data from that. So let's look at turn 11 real quickly, just for before we turn it over to Emiliano. But there are some of these things that are default, and there's other things that you can change as a user. So like sector time, it shows the tests here that the 4 tests, and it shows what the time was. And it shows them in what we call box plots. What is called box plots? Not that we didn't create them, right? But box plots, we can do it also as a normal distribution or as both. There's different ways of showing these. But right now, I'm showing the data file here with the 5 best laps with best 5 splits. You have options, just like in Race Studio 3, of what laps do you want to apply inside your report. You can just do your 5 best laps, and it brings up the data from that segment. Or you can do, and we've talked about this one just in the last webinar a month ago, laps with the 5 best splits. So it's not necessarily your 5 best lap times, but it's the 5 best times in that split area, in that segment of the track. And that's what I tend to use, is that one. So it's here are the lap times. And let's go back to turn 11. Here is the sector times for all 4 tests. And you notice that there are 5 dots inside of here. So those are the 5 actual segment times of the car coming down through the braking of turn 11, and then the corner, because that's the way we built the segment itself. And so it happens to be laps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think there was only five laps in that particular test. And you can see based on that a couple of things. Number one, which was faster, which was slower, based on across the x-axis across here is time in seconds, or tenths of a second here is actually what we're looking at. The size of the box plot is the inconsistency of the time, right? The bigger it is, the more variation there were in the segment times. It is my understanding, Emiliano can help me if I say it wrong, but the middle of the dots, there's 5 of them. There's always an odd number the way we've set this up. The middle one is the median.
The median, yes.
The median, that's the median time of the 5 runs that you did. 2 were higher, 2 were lower, right? Than that. The box plot represents 50% of the data points that you have. And then the whiskers that are out the outside edge is the last 25%. So this box is 50% statistically of the data that we're looking at. Maybe if we look at this one, it might be even a little bit clearer. You see the 5 dots. There's the median. That is the 50 percentile. That's the 50 of the dots that are available. And then the whiskers are outside of that 50% for those 2, the fastest and the slowest. Fastest on the left, slowest on the right on this particular case. Okay, Emiliano's built a couple things here. GPS minimum. These are just things you can add to what you want to see. This was how tight. It's the radius, the driven radius, and anything you might want to see. There's your average speed for the 4 different tests in miles per hour of that segment from the beginning of that red to the end of that red. Average miles per hour. Maybe that's something you want to see. There's your maximum speed. There's your braking average deceleration in longitudinal G's. Higher is better. You're braking harder. If this purple one here did not brake as hard, but much more consistent, as you can tell by the size of the box plot. Yeah. So there's just a ton of information. I'm going to turn it over to Emiliano and to have him go to his screen. But I wanted to back up and show one more time these segments, because I'm just clicking on them. There's the front straight. There's the straight between 3 and 4. If we wanted to do this one, this is the straight between 4 and 7, the sector time. You can select from the map, you can select from the tabs. But now if I go back to the data just before I hand it off to Emiliano, all of that is set up by the track map segments that we build. And it's automatically selecting the one with the word corner in it and straight to do the map, to do the display of that data in the report. If you happen to have 2 of them, or you have other splits that didn't have that, as I showed just a second ago, you can come in and select a different, by clicking on it, you can select any segment that you've built that you want to attach, but it's going to automatically attach the one with corners and straights. Okay, that is, to me, is the not so quick overview into it. Hopefully you'll have some questions. I'm going to turn it over to Emiliano. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Emiliano will share his screen and then go a little bit deeper into the how to actually build a report, and including some details on the settings. And then we'll go over a couple more adding of max brake pressure or something you guys might see that you might want to do, and then talk about the exports. So Emiliano, go ahead and take it over.
Okay, I'm here.
And
I do hope you can see my screen.
We do see it.
Okay, so we are working now with the same data set that Roger had on his PC, and to open, I have the two default reports that RS3 creates every time it power cycles. So at every RS3 started, these 2 default reports will be created as they are. So do not modify them, because your modification would be lost at the next time RS3 power cycles. We did it for keeping a sample report always working. So in case you want to start from this report and create a new one, you can either go to the data report manager, and here you can add a new one, in which you will be prompted a window in which you just need to put a name and to select what you want, and the new one will be created. Otherwise, you can double click on one of those, modify the name, and it will be saved as a new one. So let's start opening the report with Emiliano 1. Okay, here it is. I normally use the map in GDI instead of the web tile mapping, because I prefer the colors to be this way, because according to me they are more evident.
Yep,
Here
little tip and trick there for you.
Yep. Here we can also show how the RS3 for how it works now needs two different sets of sectors, and you can see here that that the corner one is overlapping. Corner sectors are overlapping the straight sectors, and this is what we needed to do the acceleration. Let's start describing the report, and then we will go through how it's created into the settings. First page will be the weather page. It's what you already know for being the same page as the preview window and of the RStudio 3 database. And then we go to labs statistics. Here is where we show all these statistics for entire labs. So what you will see here, say for example, average of GPS speed will be the average of the entire lab, and for all the labs that you select here, as Roger just explained. If you want to see where for every session, here every row here is means a session, and for every session you will be able to see which are the labs data is taken from. Here in this case, we selected the labs with the 5 best splits, and as a matter of fact, here lab 6, 8, 3, 5, and 4 are not the best labs. Just come here and selected the 5 best labs. The report. This is the speed in which with which the report is computed, and as you can see, lab can vary very little bit. So to go on, let's see how to customize these labs stuff. Come here, right click, edit data report, and you can go here. This general tab, it's aimed to give a title to the report, and it will be useful when we will explain the export function. For another thing that is worth to be noticed, that we are adding for every tab, and it's a general trend that we took for the entire software. As long as I write a function to code, I write a page. Show here a page with the help. This will be into your installation, so it will not be online, and it will be linked directly by the software. So when you click here to the report settings, you will be linked to the report settings page, and you will be able to read what the settings do for you.
And what I think is kind of cool about this is you notice that above there it's local on your PC.
Yep.
So even if you're at the track and you don't have web, this file is being updated whenever RStudio 3 gets updated. So yep, you'll always have this this help file available to you.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the software report items. We were speaking about the labs items. We're in the labs tab, and here is what you can see. Lab time is this statistics. I mean, every row here means a statistic here displayed on the tab page. Here are in the labs, there is a lab time that can be enabled or disabled, or you can coming here, you can select a different title or a different comment. title or different comments, and these will be exported into the document when you will be exporting it through to our functionalities. Other things for the labs items. Let me double click here. Here I added. Oh, let me close it. A second. Okay, put it here. You see, we have a statistic for GPS speed average and another one for GPS speed maximum, and they are here. Double click on them to edit the item title or comment, and to maybe change the operator you want to use. So in case you want the GPS speed to go to the minimum, okay, GPS speed minimum. Click OK. Click OK, and report will be computed again, and GPS speed will be the minimum. This is the way we build the lab. Okay, edit data report, and for the lab we have no other option if not to add a new channel with another operator here. So let's move into corners items. Okay, here it is. Corners items. We also have the sector time that will be in common also for the straight straight line sectors. And we also have here a channel with statistics. This is basically the same engine you are already used to when you use the channels report function to the analysis to the software. It's only the representation that is a little bit different. But let's move a little bit. So I said you have the sector time, you have a channel statistics with the different operators, and different things for corners. We have break analysis, and this break analysis can be enabled here. Let me put it here just aside for a second. You can see that the sector time and the break analysis can be only enabled or disabled, and can be customized as for item title and comment. Here below here, we have channels operators, and as well as before, every row here in this settings list means is bound to a statistic here on the tab window. Let's jump back to these break analysis. The break analysis it's always named with the GPS. This because is possible only with AIM GPS data. At the moment, this is what we build. For every sector, when you see braking, average acceleration, braking distance, for every sector, we go taking the maximum, the instance of maximum speed. We go through the instance of minimum speed, and from the minimum, we compute the average of acceleration and the distance, the braking distance. So how many feet you employ while braking. Another specific stuff for decelerations is time for speed and time for distance. These items can be enabled and disabled, but let me go through them, and I will be showing you. Okay. Braking average deceleration and the braking distance are displayed with box plots as other statistics. Let's go to these ones. Okay, these is not maybe the best corners. I mean, there are very likely it's bound to how the sector is built. In this case, the statistics were not computed. So I can investigate why, but at the moment my main guilty thing is an imperfect sector built for this statistic. Okay, let's move to another corner sector in which we will evaluate the braking, and here the software automatically computes what I call the deceleration times for speed. So in these 5 best laps, Race to the Tree identified that in this sector, these cars have in common 13 starting speed at 185. Okay, here is the kilometer per hour, but in mile per hour would be the same. It's the maximum speed that they all have in common in all laps. So all 5 laps for all these 4 sessions will have 185 as a common maximum speed, and 65 kilometers an hour as a common minimum speed. And here you are shown which are the times the car took for from as I'm showing here with the tooltip. I do hope it's visible. From 185 to 180, it took for this car 0.963 seconds. For this car, it took 0.461 seconds, and for this last one, 1.587. So here in horizontally you have time. So this is the time it took for decelerate a car. So the
one special part of what the report does for you here is what we've always done with data in the past. You've seen braking zones, and you try to figure out how good each car is, or each session you did on the brakes. What this does is it filters out all of the and only shows you data that it matches, right? It shows only when you were doing 185 kilometers per hour down to 65, and then breaks it up into these little chunks, or 5 steps of 5. In most of our data here, it'll be 5 mile per hour steps, and in his data it's kilometers, and shows you how much time it took, and gives you a visual of each piece, and then the entire 185 kilometers to 65 of pulling speed out of the car. Shorter is better, right? Typically, the one right below it he's going to talk about next is the deceleration time for distance. Now, we were time before, now we're trying to talk about distance.
Yeah, we are always speaking of the interval going from the maximum speed to the minimum speed of the sector. And these are the times taken to deploy a certain distance. So here from 0 to 10 meters, it took. There in distance they are kind of close, these cars. While it is not for speed. So let's jump to front straight. Then we will come back to these options a little bit. The front straight, if you the front straight, I think Roger built this sector as 2 different sectors. So the first one and the last one, they will be, in case they both are green sectors, they will be joined as a complete straight line, as a unique straight line. And here, for straight lines, we also have sector times. We have channel statistics with X and so on. And reversely, we have the acceleration analysis with the times for speed. From 65, that is the minimum common speed for all the laps of all these four sessions, to 200 kilometers an hour. That is the maximum common speed for all the laps of all the sessions. And this is kind of the acceleration report that we used to have since the Race Studio 1. We built it again here, and I think that we built it in a more enjoyable flavor here. Just go over the mouse cursor on any rectangle here, and you are plotted. You are given a tooltip with the value of that specific data. The same we do with distances, and this is more or less what we have for straight. Okay, let me go here. As you can see, straight lines. Again, these statistics times for speed and times for distance can be built only on GPS data. I don't think it's a limitation because nowadays all of our systems have a GPS, or the very most of them.
Emiliano, while you're there, there was a question that I thought this would be a good spot to do it. You're setting up and being able to, with that box you have open, add any channel you wish to the report. John Barnum asked the question, can you add a math channel? And a math channel,
Yep.
once the math channel has been built, it will show in the report. Report, if you click on add a new, right there, your math channels will show just as a normal channel would show. So yes, if you had a math channel built, you could click on the green button there and add it in as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely. Once it is built and computed, the math channel is a common channel. No, there's no difference.
Yep.
Other things to be described here in the settings is the session naming. According to what we already did for the analysis database, we gave the possibility to customize the way these session name is built. This because maybe I'm in a team who compares data from two different racers, so he may want to select the racer name and place it on top, or maybe you are working for a team with 4 different cars, and so you want also the car name to be shown here. According to your choices, here the report is built again. Okay, all these sessions share the same vehicle name and racer name, so now you cannot distinguish the sessions anymore, but just add the date and time and take
or the test type is the one thing that is different on all of these tests as well.
In this case, yes, we use the that type to differentiate the sessions, or we are comparing data from qualifying data, for example, from a qualifying session and from a race. So in this case, you see that the name is respecting what we choose. The fields that were enabled, and the order in which we choose them to be. Just to be back to here, to this one here, when we do braking analysis, another reason for, as I told you, the choice of the sectors are pretty peculiar, and it's preliminary work that needs to be done. You can get some help also coming here, and for the braking phase, to add a minimum inline deceleration. So if you enter this one, a minimum inline deceleration of 0.5 Gs, the report engine will be considering a valid deceleration only if it is constantly over 0.5 Gs. And you can also use another condition in parallel, in which you can say, I want the deceleration phase to be recognized only if I have a lateral acceleration below 1 G. And this can very likely help the detection of the deceleration. Very likely. Okay.
You filtered it all out.
It's too strict. Yeah, it's too strict as a condition for this for this analysis.
The reason that some people will want that is what we found early on. If we just did deceleration rates, some drivers would come in and be trail braking in, and it wasn't giving a true hard straight line deceleration that some people would want, right? So we started to build in some filters and say, boy, if he started to turn in the corner, we wanted that braking calculation to stop when the lateral G's went above 0.2 G's or something, absolute value. And so to start to filter those out, we would just need to play with those numbers that Emiliano just played with in order to filter it down to what you're after. So that was important to some people, that some people did really want to know their total braking, even including the turn in, and other people didn't. So we needed to give some triggers to help that.
Yep. Absolutely. We can go on showing these. I mean, these buttons here into the main toolbar. These three buttons are changing only the way the report is shown. I mean, you come here and you see that we are here showing three statistics on GPS speed. They all now have the same scale in common. So they all go from 80 to 20. 220 kilometers an hour, and this way the box plots are very tiny. If you want to separate, so to use separate scales for every statistic on GPS speed, you just need to do this: separate scales. The report will be built again, and you can see here GPS speed, GPS speed, GPS speed. Each one gets its own value. So the minimum goes from 91
best
to
fit scaling. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Here in deceleration analysis, you can go choosing different color schemes. Okay, jump back here. Different color scheme. This color scheme is getting the same colors that you get for the sessions. So the first session is into flavors of green, and the same flavors of green will be used here. Violet here, purple here, red, and red, so on. And the last one is the one in which you choose if you want to use box plots, if you want to use a normal distribution, or both for the same statistics. So let me show it. If I move to normal distribution, I can come here and I get the Gaussian bell shown for data. Choose to this set. You can use also both, and you are displayed the same statistics twice. So this is lap time, and these are the two statistics that can be built on this specific item. What else? You want to know? You want to say anything, or can I speak about the export function?
I think exports are the next thing we should talk about.
Okay. Let's go for that. The export function is rather easy to be used. The first two, it's the last icon on the right of the toolbar. We can export basically two things. One is data, the data that report is built upon, and we can export it to an to a Microsoft Excel format, or to CSV, just to be used with any other software package. Or we can export. It goes through all the. Okay. This is the thing I need to speak about. The export is done using an external open source software, and it needs to be downloaded separately because we don't have because their license mandates this. We cannot include into the RS3 installation package. If you download it, it's just few seconds, no problem.
And it's
RS Studio 3,
and it's a one-time thing that you would have to do on your
yeah,
specific PC.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay,
There
this
it
is
is.
there it is. After downloading it, it builds the report, and you can come into this report and write a comment of your own. You can write whatever, you can save it and print them.
So because it's into a Word document, you can come in and actually tweak the results.
Yep.
If you did it into a PDF, of course, it would be kind of locked down a
Yeah,
little bit more.
absolutely. You can also export a PDF and
HTML.
the same thing that happens with the export to Word will happen also for exporting it to PDF. We need another software package, and in this case, it would need a separate installation. But RS-Studio 3 will download it for you, and will purpose will launch its installation software. Once you install it, the export will always go through all these windows. It takes a little bit more time, but it okay, here it is. It's coming. Once the export is created, it will be the exported file will be shown into an Explorer window for you.
Leave that up there just before you open that up, Emiliano. RS-Studio 3, I've noticed recently you have been taking any exports that you do and you've been putting them directly into the user's name, documents, and a new folder called AIM RS exports. So
yes.
I think everybody will see that it's not going just to your documents folder or anything. Emiliano has created a special folder for all exports.
Yeah, instead of having you to choose the same folder every time you want to export anything, I decided to move into this way, because I think it's more it's quicker. And at the end of the export, we open a Windows Explorer window with the file, the exported file already selected for you.
There you go.
Sharing to be printing it, and this time is a PDF. So the content of the PDF is the same as the Word. The Word ready for being printed or for being shared with anyone else.
As you can tell, you can by generating the headlines right there, GPS minimum. That was what was titled on there, and Emiliano jokingly said, Emiliano wants me to be here, and that text is exactly what goes into your report. So make sure when you set those reports, those individual items up in your report, you have the appropriate text if you're going to hand out the report.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. There were a couple of questions. We're nearing that time frame when we probably want to go over a couple of things. Bjorn asked a couple of things, Emiliano. Can you view the values of the points other than by referring to the horizontal scale? Example given, the corner radius minimums are difficult to read because the scale is too gross. He went over that. One way to do that was by changing that one setting where the scale was a best fit. Emiliano already went over that. But then if you hover over it like he is right now, it shows what each of the laps were and then shows what that minimum value was as well, Bjorn.
Yes. Yes.
So just by changing allowing the different scales for the different values, number one, you can probably see it close enough. If not, hover over the session name and you're going to get the actual values.
Okay, here is an example on the second questions from Bjorn. I just selected the labs with the 11 splits. Okay, and the statistic is built. This is always the 50% of your distribution of your samples. Here you have the whiskers, the top and the bottom of the badges, and it's easy. Just select the menu and change the way you filter data.
I was not super familiar with box plots. I'd played with them a little bit here and there, but the more I've been playing with them now, the more value just visually you get by looking at them, and then being able to dig in and actually get the values adds a little bit more. But boy, very quickly, visually, these box plots are giving me most of the value that I need. Okay.
Mhm.
And that second question you just answered was Bjorn's, can you show an example with more than 5 samples? That's what Emiliano just did there.
Yep.
Okay. Bruce asks, would this be possible for a created circuit? I'm assuming
Yes.
anything that has a track map can be applied, and segments in the track map. It's
Yes.
point to point or oval track, or autocross. Anything a track map has to be created, and then the track map has to be segmented, and then you're off and running.
Yes, absolutely yes.
Okay.
John Barnum asked, I would still like to see measure graph data report. So to see the same things into the measure graphs.
Mm-hmm. Or channel. It's more closely related in the normal Ray Studio 3 area to a channel report. In ways of setting it up, selecting what channels you want to see, and those things. This just gives a whole lot more graphical reference, and broken up by splits, maybe a little bit easier than what the channel report certainly can be broken up into splits as well. But see, that's the same basic idea of setting up a channel and then picking up what you want to do with it in the channel report. It adds it in there, and then but the new report gives with the box plots or the normal distribution, and using different track maps automatically, where you're breaking out corners and straights separately, is the power of the new channel, is the power of the new report.
Yeah, I think so. I think that this way it's easier to go into sectors, specific sectors. It's way easier
to show the power of it. And Emiliano showed it a minute ago, but when he clicked on that tab, in the background, it just changed and went to the quote corners map. And if you click between a corner and a straight, you'll see the map changes on the left side, because it's automatically selecting different track maps based on those are all in the corner. As soon as he goes to a straight, it will change where those segment pieces are. Okay.
Yep.
Because it's jumping between 2 different corner segment files automatically. Okay. And the last question that I've got here, at least, is all this being backed up to the cloud? How does this tie in together with AIM Cloud or any of that yet?
At the moment, as we are just exiting the development, at the moment it is outside the cloud. But why not?
Yeah, that's the why not? And hang on, soon to be available to you, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we've covered all the questions that were in there right at the end of the session. So. Is there anything else you'd like to add while you still have your live data open up there, Emiliano?
Nothing that comes to my mind now. If not, well, maybe we still have to describe this button that lets you recompute the report in case you have any doubt data. But the recompute very likely will disappear, because any change you do, it gets recomputed by itself. Go through settings here, and have the same. Most of the things that you can access from the toolbar are available also from right-click menu. So I think we covered it all.
Perfect. Okay, so why don't you stop sharing your screen, and I will share mine, sure. And we will jump back in and kind of close this down a little bit. Share my screen. There we go. Okay. Glenn mentions in the chat box there, box plots and whiskers in most stat books. It is a defined way of looking at data statistically. Glenn has been Glenn's joining us today Glenn has been a big part of what we have put together here. He has been a huge tester of this and the brains behind a lot of exactly what you're seeing there. Glenn has been a big part of that. So thank you very much, Glenn. Appreciate all the work you've done, and we're moving this into allowing finding some user specific ways of using the same kind of information. So thank you very much. Perfect. So back to the agenda page here, just a little bit. We covered the 4 topics that we wanted. I just want to share that I think this is going to be one of those that you're going to have some questions about. It's all new. It's a new way of looking at the data. It's a new bunch of functionality, function buttons and different things. Start to play with it a little bit. And if you have any questions, we'll give you some email addresses here in just a moment to go and ask for anything. Ask for clarification on anything. Say, boy, I wish it would do this. We would love to hear that. It's been Emiliano, me, Glenn, Matt, a small group of folks have been studying this, and pretty soon you're so deep into the forest that you can't see the trees, right? So we would love to have some other eyes on it and some other things, and then give us some suggestions on what might be a very, very cool way of using the product and the function even more. So please share with us what your thoughts are. This video, as soon as we're done, we'll go up onto YouTube, just as all the rest of them we do. If there are some that we'll link some other ones, YouTube videos that we've done in the past that are a little bit more direct on how to create track map segments and such, that we brushed past fairly quickly today. So those will be available to you, and this is where they're at, is on our YouTube site. So we're out here. It's the heart of the racing season, and I know all of our guys are out there running as fast as they can to racetracks and all over North America. And so, boy, if you see them there, go up and say hi, give them a bottle of water, and ask them if there's anything that they can do to help you. That's what we're all out here for. So give us a call or meet up with our folks at the tracks. We're going to have another webinar, of course, July 25th, last Tuesday of each month. I've got 2 or 3 ideas of what we already want, and a couple that are already committed, but I'd like to leave this as a to be determined when we're still a month out, because things can change for different people. So, but we will be here a month from now on July 25th. Make sure you come and check it out. Contact information. If you, as I mentioned, if you see there's something that you might want to think might be able to be represented in a different way or better, please just give us a call, give us an email, software@aimsportline.com. We'll get it straight to Emiliano. CC me or include me if you think it's anything I can do to help and be able to test and do anything else. That's what I do here a lot. So there's a couple of email addresses for you. I appreciate all of you here. I hope you guys find as much value in this new function as I think we will all find. So Emiliano, anything else you'd like to kind of add as we kind of close up this one?
As usual, I want to say a big thank you to you all, to people attending here, and to you from AIM Sports. You are truly a great help to me and to customers.
Yeah, Emiliano doesn't have any hair, because I think I bug him enough that he's pulled it all out at some level. But he says it's truly a help. But I think sometimes I feel sorry for him, because I'm bugging him at times. His commitment to this software and to AIM in Italy is unparalleled. We meet at the end of his day, sometimes very early in my morning. Sometimes it's after midnight my time, and so I can catch him early at morning at work, or sometimes it's near midnight at his place in Italy, and we get a lot done, and it's very, very helpful that he is so dedicated to the process. So thank you very much, Emiliano.
Pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I think this was a fun one, because it's a totally new function, and we're not talking about just fine tuning, showing you some ways to fine tune a function you already use, but rather a brand new function using a lot of the a lot of the functions that you may have thought about or used in the past, but put it all together in this new one. So everybody, I appreciate everybody coming. Again, drop us a note if there's anything that you think can be adjusted or tweaked with some good ideas. Always look forward to those. So thank you very much, everybody. Look forward to seeing you all in about a month or so. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.